Sunrise creeping, truck tires spinning, baseball gleaming, days just beginning. In cooler full of drinks, tackle box stacked, casting dreams where the waters crack. Bright bands heavy, heart stars racing, big old largemouth my soul is chasing. Out here in the quiet, no noise, no fight, just me, the lake, and the stars at night. Hooked on the line, this is my way of life, rod and reel, singing, cutting water like a knife. Baits and lures, chasing that dream, fish is my heaven, the lake's my stream. Crankbait twitching, ripples start to dance, top water popping, this a game of chance. Drag screaming louder than a southern storm, that big bass shaking, breaking all the norm. Mud on my boots, sun on my neck, this ain't work, nah, it's my respect. From the dock to the bank, I'm making my mark, casting out faith where the water runs dark. Hooked on the line, this is my way of life, rod and reel, singing, cutting water like a knife. Baits and lures, chasing that dream, fish is my heaven, the lake's my stream.
Rough River Lake. This is going to be a breakdown of obviously Rough River Lake, but we're going to start at the Marina, and I'm going to try to go very, very close to the Marina, a bunch of different of the launch points, and give you a few places to go if you happen to launch out of this place. But we're going to start right here at the Marina, I believe, and I can't really make myself believe that you couldn't fish around this area and catch some fish. But there's other good stuff on this whole entire lake, which we'll get into here in a second. I'm trying to look for. Say if you can fish these row of docks right here, definitely do that. I don't know if it will allow you to or not, because some places won't. And here's a nice little hump right here. That's definitely worth checking out. There's another little hump right here worth checking. That's a hole. That's a hole, and then there's a hump right here. Yeah, I would definitely check out this little area right here too, because you got that river channel that's right, the deeper water right there. That's not the channel, but it's deeper water anyway, and it's real steep. If you notice that, that'd be a good spot to run a crankbait off of, throwing it over there in that 4-foot range and then dragging across this. See how those lines are really, really close together? That's really, really steep. It means it's, up and down versus lateral. That would be a really, really good spot to fish. And so would this. See, it's 5 foot right there, and then it's real steep right there. It's not exactly a ledge per se, and it goes down into a hole, a deep hole right here. I just feel like certain times of the year, I would definitely check that out for sure. There's no way I could pass those up. There's no way. I'm definitely looking at them bad boys for sure. Just seeing what's there, make 4 or 5 casts with a crankbait or something. If you don't get bit within 4 or 5 casts, there's nothing there. There's another little saddle-ish looking hump thing there. A ridge, I guess you could call it. Definitely check that out. Any of these pockets would be good. And we're up here towards the dam. I know the dam is at this moment is under construction, and it will be for some time. That doesn't mean you shouldn't fish down here. I definitely want to check out these pockets, especially on a southwest breeze for sure. And if you go down into here, there's not a whole lot of good looking stuff. We'll go down this way. This point might look good. It's got deeper water around it, but the channel is not exactly going next to it. That one didn't look great. I don't know what it's like a little indentation right there. It's kind of cool. It's about right here. See how those lines are going down? It's like it's a little deep little thing right there. You never know. Sometimes if you get a lot of, you know, pressure or whatever, bass will be very, very specific on where they sit. And you never know. There might be a 30-pound bag sitting in that depression right there. And you'll never know it unless you go either scan it with your forward-facing sonar, which I don't recommend, and or cast there, or use your 2D sonar. I'm definitely looking at this point right here. This is a good-looking point. See how you got deep water on both sides of this point, and you've got little knobs on it. There's like a 10-foot, a 12, another 10, a 7. That's a really good-looking point right there. Definitely check out that point for sure. You got the river channel running on the right side of it right there. Yeah, that's nice. I like that. I would definitely be hitting that up for sure. Let's see. I'd probably most likely hit this point too if you could. It looks like it might hold some fish, especially on a west wind, for sure. Definitely hit this, especially during the fall time. These drains right here, the middle of this creek is really, really deep, especially up in here. I like that little deep hole right there. You get wind blowing up in there. You might get some shad going up in there. Let's see what else we got. I like this little pocket too. It's got some interesting stuff on it. It's shallow as hell. In my mind, I don't see bass hanging out inside the pocket all the way I can see them hanging out in the mouth of it on this particular one, especially on this little ledge or a little hump right here on the shore. Definitely hit that up for sure. Let's back out. Let's see what else we got going on here. It looks like we got another ledge. What the hell happened there? What the? It's barren. I don't know what just happened. Like, for real. There we go. We're back at rough. Where were we? I believe we were going down this way. I said there was a ledge there, but it's almost like a little flat, and then it just drops off. And a lot of Rough River is bluff walls, so you've got fairly steep structure going on here. This would be a really good wintertime lake because the bass will be way more predictable than they will be in the summertime. I said that was a ledge, but it's not really. I bet you there's just a bluff wall there or something, and it just goes out just a little bit and then drops off into deep water. I don't really know. I've been on this lake before, but not a whole lot. I'm just kind of going off what I can see on this maps to see what else we got here. Maybe we got a few humps going on here. Like right here, there's a big long hump. That's definitely worth checking out, especially if they start pulling some water. If they start pulling some water from the dam, that's a really good spot. Actually, this whole area looks really good. There's a nice little. What does it look like? Yeah, right there. A little hump right there. It's 10 foot, and then it drops down into 30. That's a nice little spot. I would totally. There's a bunch of them right here, actually. 10 and 15. Yeah, there's a bunch of little humps right here. That's on the semi-main body. You might actually be able to get away from the boat or the party boater crowd if you can get down here. There's all kinds of little humps. There's like a little hump right. No, that's a hole. Never mind. I thought that was a hump on the end of that point right there. Let's see what we got going on here. Anything else that looks good? I do kind of like that, where there's this bend right here, and it like drops down in the deep water on the side of it. I would definitely hit that up for sure. This island, if that is an island, definitely hit that up for sure. You can never pass up an island. And there's another hump right there. There's a nice little flat area. I don't know if I'd hit that up or not. I would probably steer clear of that. And this little point right here looks really, really good. You've got the channel coming on the right side of it, and you've got like a really, really deep water going into shallower water on the left of it. Yeah, that's a really good spot too. I would definitely hit that up. I would never pass that up for sure. This is pretty cool too. Huh. Wonder how this area right here that's 11-12 goes along this area, and then towards the bank is deeper right there. Huh. That'd be interesting to see if anything hangs around there for sure. Even though it's literally like in the middle of the lake over by some docks. I don't know how busy it would be over there. But I would definitely check that out for sure. Definitely hitting that point. 1000% hitting that point. If there's bridge pilings here, you definitely want to hit up some bridge pilings for sure. Is that a ramp? I'm assuming it's a ramp. See if there's anything over here. Let's see, nothing really sticks out. So we're moving right along. Let's see what happens in this creek right here. Yeah, definitely hit that point right there too. That's a good looking point. It's deep, but it's not too deep, and it's got some deep water around it. It doesn't have the channel necessarily on it, but it does at the same time. Yeah, definitely hit that point if you can. Let's see, anything else that looks good? Nothing's really standing out to me right at this moment. It's not. Well, if you're going to hit that point over here, if you're going to swing this way, you might as well hit this one too, just to be sure there's nothing on it. Because they'll just hang out like suspended out there in the end of it, just for no reason. I mean, there's probably bait around in the area, which would be a really good reason. But, I mean, they'll just be out there. And I'm going to go back to this ledge real quick that we seen over here, if I can find it. Where was it at? Right here. Well, that's not the one I was looking for. But anyway, if you get those, if you see those ledges, the more aggressive fish will be higher on the ledge. They'll generally sit between 2, 3, 4 feet below that ledge. If they're in a feeding mode, they're going to be higher. And if they're not in a feeding mode, they're going to be lower. So if you see them on your electronics, make sure you take that into consideration. It may be a timing thing where you might see a group of fish. It might be 10, 20 of them, and there might be only 1 or 2 that are high. You might want to skip it so you don't educate them. Skip it and then come back, a couple hours later and check it again. See if more of them have moved up. And if more of them moved up, and it's a timing deal. And keep in mind how long you were gone versus when you got back, and then when the bite quits. It'll give you a good indication on what timing that particular thing is when there's fish on it. I don't know if I showed that or not, that long little hump right there. That's kind of... But anyway, in a nutshell, let's see. This is what I would do. This is fall time, so I'd be launching out of here in a kayak. If I was going to, if I was going to go this lake tomorrow, I'd be launching in a kayak, and I would probably go across to over here. I'd probably paddle down this bank right here until I get to about right there. I'd cut across, fish this little cove right here, and go all around along this bank. That's what I would do. If I was fishing this tomorrow, that's what I would do. And I would just keep on going until I ran into some fish, and then I'd try to figure out what they're doing while they're there, you know? And then once I got down here, I'd probably hit this point. I'd probably fish that point for a good bit just to cover the entirety of it. I mean, I'd cut across the point. I'd turn around and I'd fish this way. I'd fish this way. And then I'd go up to the bank and fish out that way. Because that's a really good looking point. And it would be probably the last thing I'd hit that day if I could get to it. Because this is a pretty hefty paddle there, all the way down to there. I mean, it'd be a lot of fishing. I don't know how long it would take, but I would suggest that would probably be, if you were going to go fishing back the way you came, maybe on the opposite side of the lake, that would probably be your halfway point, would be fishing that point right there. Or you know what, I might even jump across and fish this one too. Just to see. And then I'd probably head back. That's where I would go. If I was going to launch out of this right here, which is the, I think, closest ramp to where I would be going. So yeah, that would be what I would do. And if I had to choose, let's say you're launching out of here, there's a lot of docks around there. If you were in a kayak, I'd probably swing down here and hit this point right here. It doesn't look the greatest, but I would probably either hit that one or I would hit this one up here. No, you can't. It's behind a dock. You could hit that one right there too, because it's got some docks on the left side of it. Bass love that shit. And you could also just paddle up here and hit this one, because this one actually looks a little bit better. It's got the deeper water around it. There's a lot of good looking stuff on this lake. It's so spread out that if you were in a kayak, it would be hard to hit a lot of different stuff. See what I mean? Like if you were in a boat, it'd be a little different. But anyway, I greatly appreciate y'all tuning in. And if you have any lake you want me to break down, as long as it's on this app, this is Omnia Pro. If you sign up and there's a reference, put local hammer, please. And thank you very much. I greatly appreciate y'all tuning in. I'll see y'all on the next one.